Guard.
Good evening, everyone. Kalla here. Glad you could make it today. And welcome back to my playthrough of Tales of Arise. Let's get stuck back into it. I kind of need to heal stuff. I don't know if we're going to be having... We'll probably have more enemies, right? I'll heal the CP if I find more enemies. Who knows, I might be lucky and find a camp or something first, and not have to. Although then again, who would set a campsite up in the middle of a volcano? I don't know. Oh. Alright, goodbye volcano.
Hey, is that it over there?
Is that that looks like it might be a spaceship. That does look suspiciously like a spaceship. This also looks suspiciously like a merchant. Hello again, Kevin. Right, I can make some more stuff. Supreme Flare Claw. I don't need to equip it, but I do need to make it. What was I missing for that? Dark Mains. Okay. The Supreme Ignis Roar. I created all of yours now. Yes. Okay. Just missing the machete carrot over here at the moment, I think. I think that's the only one I haven't made. Yeah. Taming Water 3rd edition. Still need Curse Claws and Chameleon Hide for prime farming. And other than that, I've made all of the other ones. Supreme Flaming Knights. I can make it only. I'm not equipping those because I have the Tyrant Fists. I have made all of those now. Can't make the farm fence. Supreme Rock Wall I have not yet made, so let's just make that. Other than the fence, and we're all done there. Supreme Patron Pole, and then the Hand of Man Shaft. And I have now made all of the ones on this list, yes. Okay, so what I need is a Blistering Fang, a Cursed Claw and a Chameleon Hide, and a Dark Mane. That is what I need. Items. Actually, I didn't get too low. No. We are buying more pineapple gels? Let's buy 3 pineapple gels, actually. Let's not buy orange gels.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
And then let's save, just in case. Oop, not that slot. And no. One slot per stream. So that does look suspiciously like a starship. And I'm hoping I'm not going to have to fight anything on my way to it. Doesn't look very, flight-worthy. But it does look suspiciously like a starship.
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
And it's still functional.
3 centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alphen.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
Hey, there is a campfire over there.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave? We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
Shion. Fast travel point. Whose skills being used here? It's not actually going to tell me. Okay.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis? After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Same.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan.
As soon as I saw Lenegis and I was told it was where the
No offense to
remaining
Shion,
Renan, well,
it's
where
worth
the Renans
remembering we're
live,
heading into enemy
I
territory.
would be like, I was like, I'm
No
gonna,
offense
sure I'm
taken.
gonna go up there.
And this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
Peace talks probably not
the
gonna
people
work.
of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shion and Dohalim, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are
Six
still
person,
many of
1
my
hour
kind who
army.
believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
They started this.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Xion can finally get rid of her thorns. Xion?
Xion, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Please tell us what's wrong. Before it bites us all. Why are you all sleeping sus?
Where? Shion?
Oh, he disbanded.
Where'd Shion go? How could she just go off on her own? She's not over there.
Oh, I
Where
can't
did
go
Shion
and
off
poke
to?
the sleeping members.
Shion.
There you are. Shion, are you trying to leave without us?
Shion. Shion! It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
It seems like it does. Shion.
Stay out of my way.
Shion, you are not going on your own.
Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
Yeah, I refuse to let you go alone.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case,
Then
go
shoot
ahead
me.
and shoot me!
Calling your bluff, Shion. I knew she couldn't. She likes me too much. Oh look, you woke everyone else up too.
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Volron?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time.
Oh? You've been stabbed
The
before?
first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't
no.
die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Shion. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death.
Oh no.
I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance. was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
Shion.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Oh, Shion.
Shion, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to.
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens,
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renis Alma on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
But that's too much. It's way too much.
when this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shion!
Alvin?
Living for the sake of dying is no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Alvin.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen. We can fight this. We'll fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys. You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, and a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegis.
Aw. That almost made me cry. Aw. I love these six. I love them so much. That really is the strength of the Tales series in its characters. They always do it so well.
The end of the world. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I believe Shion is telling the truth. What about you?
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Everything that's happened seems to point towards some sort of great danger that's lurking ahead of us. Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher outright doom to the world. That those really are the stakes we face.
No, I understand. Even Shion doesn't seem to know exactly what will happen to bring it all about.
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands, so many clues, yet the complete picture eludes us.
So where do her thorns fit in then?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all. You remember the voice we all heard while we were inside the wedge, don't you?
Yeah, I remember. It was the will of Dana's astral energy come to life. Or that's what we all thought.
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast concentrations of astral energy can become sentient. Let's return to when we found Shion in Pelagian. When her thorns went wild, they contained far more astral energy than any mere Renin would normally have inside them.
So you think those thorns might be alive too? That their will is what keeps her from dying? But why would they want to destroy the entire world?
As for that, I really cannot say for certain. Its goals still remain a mystery. It may be a mere fluke that her maiden powers have been able to contain it thus far.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like figuring out riddles.
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere facade, they can't help but seek the truth. Especially when that deception has led to others getting hurt.
Dohalim?
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we seek rest somewhere within Lenegis. As for what the final picture will look like, who can say? I think it's best we not dwell on it too much for the time being.
Right.
Sarah?
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you. You took a hit from those thorns again, didn't you?
Oh, that? That was nothing.
Compared to what Shion's going through, you mean? Still, even if you yourself might be willing to endure that kind of pain, That doesn't mean Shion wants to have to see you get hurt by her thorns, you know?
Yeah, I know. I'll be careful.
Shion doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, you know? Dashing in to save her at the last minute.
Yeah, very funny.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that mask on, and you didn't even bat an eye. She really needed that. That's what I mean when I said you saved her. Just like you did with the rest of us.
I just want for Shion what we all have. The ability to touch someone without the fear of killing them. Those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for granted. And it's not right.
You can say that again. It may be normal for us, but that doesn't make it any less special or important for her. I hope she gets what she wants. I have my own dreams, but a world without her, where she dies so we can all survive, isn't a world I want to live in.
Agreed. It's like more and more keeps getting taken from her, and I'm done with it.
Yeah. Shion deserves a better life than she has.
Can't sleep?
After everything we just heard, how could I?
Fair enough.
Shion's had to deal with so much on her own. Even when we were all laughing and celebrating, she just kept quiet and didn't say anything. I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorns. That it was because she didn't want to hurt anybody by getting too close. I just figured that that was the type of person she was, you know? But it turned out to be none of that. All this time, she felt like she had to die and sacrifice herself for the greater good. But even then, she didn't think she could say anything to us about it.
I know.
She was so alone this entire time. How could I call her a friend and yet be so completely blind to everything she was going through?
I'm sure it made her happy, knowing you were there for her.
You really think so?
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of us as friends, I don't think she could have ever opened up to us like that. You were a good friend to her before, and you'll be an even better one now.
Yeah, I really hope so. I want to be the best I can for her. When you think about it, we were all alone in our own way. But over time, we've all found ways to let each other into our lives. I hope Shion's able to do that one day too. No, I mean, I hope she's able to do that more. Lots and lots more. I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each other when it really counts. And forget about our grudges and pain.
Rinwell.
Yeah, I didn't do the additional talking too, because okay. Law.
Did you know?
You mean about Shion?
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. I mean, every once in a while I thought something seemed a little off, but I never could have imagined. It's like a completely different world was spinning around me and I couldn't even see it.
You and me both. I mean, I knew something was bothering her, but I could never quite figure out what it was.
You? But you're the one always looking out for her, aren't you?
That's what I thought. But in reality, I didn't understand it all. What I thought was helping and being there for her was actually just driving her into a corner.
At least you figured it out in time, though, right?
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah, you're right. We brought her back from the edge, and we're going to stop those thorns from taking her, no matter what.
Yeah, with all of us together, there's nothing we can't handle. Shion, the world, we can save everyone. And I mean it when I say we, Alphen.
I know. No lone wolfing it.
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say. Do you think he'd pat me on the back or tell me off?
Definitely the pat on the
Zephyr,
back.
I don't think that he'd have that much to say, to be honest. You're your own man now, Law. And you've already made up your own mind about what you want.
I guess he couldn't say anything even if he wanted to.
Law.
Sorry. I guess those of us amongst the living have enough problems to deal with, don't we? We'll need all our strength to save Shion. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point, but I guess I'll think it over more then. That okay?
Yeah, I think it is.
Mm-hmm. Alright. And then Shion. Looks like you got a good view up here, Shion.
Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control, everyone still worries about me.
You're not the only one.
We're all worrying about everyone.
Hey,
And it's
do you
fine.
remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Danans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadime, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two, and before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renans. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shion.
But then, I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt, and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now. So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Danans and Renans, can finally live in peace. But I swear I'll be there with you until the very end.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that.
Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis.
Except not until I've used the camp to make some food. I don't know what sort of food we're gonna need,
Huh?
but I want some.
Why are you staring at me?
Oh, we thought we'd turn the tables and critique your appearance for a change.
It's not fair if we're the only ones subjected to it.
What?
Did you guys hear? Apparently, she found that dress of hers in some old ruins.
Alphen, we haven't heard from you yet. Would you care to tell us your verdict?
Sure, I guess. To be honest, when I first saw Shion in that dress, I
Quit it!
was absolutely captivated.
Alright, I think that's enough fun for one day.
Alright, what sort of food do I want? Attack up. Heal HP after battle. Sounds like a good one. %5 of max. 10%. Oh, T is for tiny, I guess. Do I have one? For large, there we go. With a plus 20% cooking effect duration by cooking with Kisara, yes.
Thanks for waiting. Eat as much as you like.
And Dohalim.
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while? Another fine day for journeying, huh?
Tell me, do you ever find yourself tiring of the vagabond existence?
It's better than being enslaved, that's for sure. I get to pick my own destination, for starters. You don't get those luxuries as a slave.
Shackle a man's feet, and you put a clamp on his heart as well.
Then there was the food. Gross slop that left you in a permanent state of hunger. Ugh, you wouldn't believe the things I ate to keep from starving. What about you? This must all sound pretty alien to someone who used to be a lord.
Is that a hint of interest in my past I detect?
I guess that's one way to put it.
Well, certainly starvation was never a concern I had to contend with. The day-to-day grind was largely taken care of for me. I even had help getting in and out of clothes. All that was required of me was standing still while looking solemn.
That's quite the downgrade you've made. It's a wonder you don't sound more bitter.
This might surprise you, but I actually don't find our current situation all that disagreeable. My own hardships paled in comparison to yours, granted. But life as a lord came laden with its own restrictions. Forgive me. Such complaints must sound like feeble extravagances to a Danon.
True, Renan opulence doesn't feature high on my sympathy list. Then again, yours isn't exactly a normal case.
I suppose it's not. Sometimes, I can't help but wonder how much easier life would have been without the trappings of nobility.
You really mean that?
Pay me no heed. Not but the ramblings of a privileged eccentric. Whatever my past, it has led to my being here. That is all the reality I need concern myself with. I suppose we should call it a day.
Okay. Now,
Once we finish eating, we should get going.
save. And then to Lenegus. Take off. Yes! Starship time!
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that.
Yeah, no, don't jinx this lot.
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Nights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
That sounds great. We shall
I like
name
it.
our ship
Sounds perfect
Owl.
for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm
We are the
completely
Owl Crew.
convinced, but, well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then let's go.
Ooh, shiny. Up we go. Time to face the sky. Nyum! Stash it. Look at
You
the
know,
stars.
I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
Mm.
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different.
Different? Like in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You seem more driven lately, like you found a zest for life. It suits you.
Rena doesn't look anywhere near as hospitable as Dana.
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me, though. You too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim.
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
Mm-hmm. Shion?
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then? You know, before you came to Dana.
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life, for as long as I can remember. They called it treatment, but in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean, they experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a monster or something.
Hmm.
Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched. Helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse. But then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's either. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction, then that has to include saving each other as well.
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been fighting for all along, isn't it?
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight is yours too, Shion. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it, the true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danon victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
You bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars. We can do this. Together.
Together. Forgot up here, you two.
Hey, Alpin, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology. It got me to Dana in one piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alpin, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphin. It's just wrong, okay?
So we got a big table here. Big table with benches. And in here, that's the entrance. In here, what are you? You're some kind of machine. And in the other side, the same kind of machine. And at the back, suspiciously human-shaped cylinders. We've seen these before.
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
I guess Almedia must
Glad
have
to hear
got hers from
Glad
a
to bust there,
starship. I
Kalla
mean,
Shearwater,
she
huh?
stole
I was just wondering what it is.
the
It looks big enough to fit a person
drive
inside
of the
it.
starship for her.
It's a healing pod.
For her big.
It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Ship, right?
Oh, you don't
It's a
say.
healing pod.
Well, that should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that mean you were inside for 300 years?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but... Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia? About the dream of coexistence, and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now, and those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Danans, wherever they might be, to be free. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen. I'll forever be grateful to you.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Back to the front of the ship and Dohalim. I'm actually going to see. Nice Shion on the way past. And maybe I'll go to the front here and have a look. Yeah, this front section is kind of rather like Almedia's ship was. She really did steal a lot of... so... It's Lenegis, huh?
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Renance?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lenegis.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dana. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renin ladder is considered superior to being a Danan. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Lost blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this red woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
Probably.
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
That red woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
Bloop, bloop.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them.
We got a welcoming party?
There's no one
No
here.
welcoming party?
I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to fight
So
a
now
lot of
what?
people.
We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a
Zone.
place as any for us to start.
Yeah, Forbidden Zone sounds
Forbidden?
like a good,
What are they hiding?
option.
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
It probably reacts to the Sovereign's power.
There's only
so-
one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone.
Members who have left have returned to
Beyond
the
that
party.
wall lies a city full of Renans. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
And I will be right back. Again? Right, skit.
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want everyone to know we're here?
So how many Renans actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we can't afford to let our guard down after all.
Zeugles. So that's probably the way back. Yep, that's back into the ship. We don't need to do that. Is there anything down the end of here? No. Glowing. Why is that on fire and sparking? Limigus. It doesn't look. It looks like it's seen better days.
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
Was it when it transformed?
When Lenegis changed shape,
Yeah.
it must have had an effect on the interior, too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
No, Halim
Heard
won.
what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Doe?
Oh, good enough friend to have a little nickname.
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danins poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two.
Alright.
The Danins among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process.
Oh,
It's just... unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose,
Maybe something's
disrupting
happening
their
on Rena.
siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. We don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
Get another one.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegus was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Not necessarily.
Well,
yeah.
none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegus was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry, that probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah.
Or more questions.
You're right,
We
Shion.
might find more
I'm
questions.
sure we will.
Alright, this guy. Hi. Can't answer these ones. Ooh, healing arts. Stuff keeps dropping on people and they're also falling down.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands.
Oh no!
Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know.
You know, we had
We have
downtime
no choice but to
between
grin and bear it.
the wedge
But
arriving.
do my
and
eyes
this.
deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
Ooh,
As your lordship wishes.
secret tip.
First, Lenegus mutates beyond recognition. Now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
He's basically the
Your good
winner
wishes
already
do me
because
an
he's the
honor.
only one who's still alive. Actually, that depends on the fifth one because we didn't actually see his body. He might still be alive. I hope he's not still alive. Your communications are down, are they? Strawberries! Yeah, we definitely had some downtime between the wedge coming down and... Unless some of these were caused by us backing up the wedge. But like, why are things still on fire? And sparking. You'd think you'd have cut off the power to things and... Aww. Poor kids. Anything around the corner? Yes! An orange gel! Woohoo! We like orange gels. Heal. Fancy parfait recipe. A lavish parfait filled to the brim with fruit and cream. Though extremely satisfying to eat, eating one risks developing more than a few cavities. Parfait.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Yes, they do, Helene. And that's why Shion's in the team usually and you're not.
Your lordship. Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah, because everyone wears white here.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time. Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Hmm? Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least.
Mm.
I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent. Which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth. That Lenegis is under
You'd
some kind
expect
of
something
control.
like the crown contest
Given
would be like
everything that's
reality
happened to their
TV,
city,
right?
The people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah, that one guy even said Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
He rules from Ren.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Well, I mean,
Hold up.
clearly...
What are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Pet Renner is basically
Not if the Sovereign is
uninhabitable.
imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever
I
wins the
imagine
crown
it's similar.
contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all
Yeah,
of
what
Rena
happens
and
to
Lenegis.
the old
Thereafter,
one?
That individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Danon. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't
I
say
bet
for
it's some
sure.
kind of like
It
sacrificial
certainly sounds
position.
like it.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony
Stop
underway
mentioning
with
that we
Volron
haven't
at
seen
its
his
center this time?
body.
Could that be what's
that means
causing
he's
all this
coming
strange
back.
activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered, until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction.
It's also
Let's
the
go
only
find
way
it.
we can really go right now. So... just through that.
I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Danon city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do.
I feel like it's called
friendly
being a lord.
intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Ah, boys.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, they're sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Cannabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
Do they have their own
If you're that
separate
curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
because they don't know we killed all of their lords. Renans and their lords. Yes, I will give display priority to this. Hi. Wolsey Telderlease. Oh, Lord, that's
Yes! Yes!
well, sorry about your lord. He was an asshole.
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
Why, thank you. Face.
Hmm? I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What?
No, he was definitely cruel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry about your sons. Probably. I don't know. They might still be around.
Ganabelt was so horrible to people. Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
Alright, through the gap. So apparently this wall didn't exist before. I guess it does look like it's come up through the floor a bit. Maybe? Hmm. Look at the stars.
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed, the effects of Lenegis' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
So jewel blades, and there's a wolf down there, and another jewel blades? Hmm.
Pardon me.
House Chimeras. Almagias. She usurped her father and removed her older brother. Well, yeah, sorry, but she's dead.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Meat. That means you must be with
Ridiculous.
Bolan? That's who I've got left.
Okay.
Oh, you were the supporter of the one he replaced.
Ah.
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganeth Heros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Renna, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you, because we're threats to Renna.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
You're just going to ignore that we're calling you a weirdo, don't you?
I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too.
They were terrible people.
Falstaff and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters.
That they were just bad people.
Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danon doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Shion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust, as a fellow human being above all else.
Yay. SP accumulated. Hi. Yikes. Hi. You okay, kid? Nope, clearly you're not. What's that going on? Oh dear. Alright, onwards. So, can I read any of this? That's clearly the shape that it is now. I kind of expected it to look laser-like on both sides. Hi. Oop.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current Sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former Lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfried whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegus?
I
That's
guess over holocom maybe, but
suspicious.
not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the Sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegus from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still... Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Ooh.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Oh, here she is.
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, You mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
It's kind of true.
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
I wasn't done back there. Oh man, the red one's not here. I don't think I'd looked in this corner. Okay, I was done back here. Tree. Tree. Nothing. Shinies. People. And onwards. Yep. Oh. No one knows what's going on, do they? No one knows what's going on. No one has any idea what to do. A lot of things are on fire. I found some tofu in a corner. A lot of Zoogles. Alright. Through the next passage. Ooh, bigger trees. We found a park?
Wow, this place is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's even got a fountain.
Must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renin sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnigan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnigan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed.
Mm-hmm.
Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagin and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagin and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagin had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagin was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less, she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty, instead I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right.
Hey, there's that guy we just met.
Alfred.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
No, thank you, Shion. I'd be so dead without you. Ooh. So you need a sovereign's position to even use a starship, huh? Hey, I'm a sovereign. It doesn't matter. I know it's a the sovereign.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
A group of armored soldiers started to rebel?
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
The fact that we can check in on the ranch from all the way up here is ridiculous. But sure. Ah, you don't have any fishing lures for me, do you? But what you do have is some armor. I'm not gonna equip that. I think I'm gonna keep it the absolute. This one gets equipped though. And this one gets equipped. That's it, it's this one. A diamond guard I'm gonna buy because I don't have one. The diamond cape will be equipped. I'm gonna buy 5 more life buttons. And a couple more orange shells. Yeah. I don't think I picked up anything to... Hello! I have more weapons I can make now. Gladius Rene. Yes. Sclopitium Rene. I need a dark main. Historia Rene. Radiant Light Part 3 there, we can make. Cestus Rene. Pink Protector. And Scutum Rene. Caduceus Rene. We need dark mains for a lot of stuff, huh? Let's go to the accessories. Oop. Gonna enhance this. Yeah, 3-star. Maybe I should enhance the others as well. If I can. So I might want to swap between things. I might want to mess around with the moving of skills. Oh, there was probably some more that I got. Yeah, I can make 5-star poison charms now. And curse charms. I probably shouldn't, like, make all of these, but hey. It might just be a waste of gold. Especially when I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm running out of gold. Again, whoops. Sell commodity items. Let's not make any more of these, because we might need that gold for later. And... hey look! Horse meat from all the way on Dana. Let's raise chickens this time. Chickens, 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 chickens.
You can never be too prepared. But did we have to spend so much?
You keep complaining about that. Do we even need to use this? Yeah, we have used a little bit of CP. Let's cook, because we're running out of that food again.
Thanks for waiting. Eat as much as you like.
Haven't even had a battle for this. Let's save since it's been a bit.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Looks like we're fighting them.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Ho! I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menancia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one. Take this! I owe you one. Try harder! Hold nothing back! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Can't be swallowed!
It's almost too strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest. Commander of Heaven.
Phoenix Cyclone! Oh, violent darling. Sleep now.
Ow, flamethrower. Ow. Ow.
Dragon Swarm! Coming through! Ha! Mount! Scarlet Inferno!
Here.
Mount! Take this! Look sharp! Lightning Fire Blade!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
Maybe.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
That looks like a big mantis. Like the Gigantzugal I was only just able to beat earlier today, which was level 43. Fun times ahead. There's some wolves around this corner. They're glowy and green. Force wolf.
It'll be a breeze. Get in, get out.
Eat their away!
It's over.
Slash the shot!
In a
These
bind.
ones can run rings around us.
Slash the shot!
Shattering the pieces.
Transform!
Wings Cyclone! Magic is
And an apple. Yeah! The apple one's kind of less relevant than the fact that they appear to be made of nuclear waste.
Leave the ensnaring to me. Now I'm real mad.
Slash the shot!
Here. Shooting star!
Slash the shot! Soda!
Here I go.
You're on!
Getting
Eat this! Slash the shot! Swallow dance!
now. This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
Raging
Not a
Cascade.
chance.
Help this.
What level were they anyway? 42.
Into the shadows.
Soda!
Do it. This ends now.
Consider yourself
Finished.
finished!
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
Dark mains! Dark mains, dark mains, dark mains. You know, I'm really tempted to just go back. Yes, I want those weapons, I want those weapons, I want those weapons. I hope I don't have to fight things again when I come back in again. Weapons. I have dark mains now. I can make things. Hi. Oops. No, not craft and equip. I'm gonna just a second.
Have you...
I accidentally unequipped. Correct one. There we go.
guys checked your equipment lately?
Great. Okay. Oh, I can open it. And the machete carrot. So I just need Curse Claws and Chameleon Hide. And Blistering Fang. Right. Thank you. I could have just stayed at the end thing again. Right. Oh, the wolves are back! Excuse Excuse me, don't mind me. I'm going to pretend I just fought you. Anyway, please, please, please return to your room. Look at them, they're all stuck. Anyway, one giant mantis. I'm not sure I want to fight, so... Oh, go on. This is more powerful than the gigant one. It's a higher bloody level. Well, I guess then again it doesn't have a multi-path HP bar. But seriously.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes!
Tenebris claw!
First strike! Watch this! You picked the wrong fight! Take that!
So this one doesn't have a core to target. Wait, I didn't check. Eh. Of course, by the time I actually got to Kisara's thing, it had stopped charging, but...
I have no limits!
I have no limits.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Take this! Try harder! Not a chance! Ignite! I'm just getting started! Awesome! I'm only getting radiant! I'm out of ammo! I'm on a roll now! Almost there! In the wind! Glacial Spear! See what happened there as you crossed? Shouldn't have done that! Magic is there! Glacial Spear! I'll crush you!
Lightning reflexes! Tenebris claw!
First strike! Slap the shot! Radiant here! Blazing storm! Illuminate the dark! Come forward! Illuminate the dark! Will this help? Now! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
I felt better, that's for sure.
Hey, it's another wolf room. Oh no, it's wolves and armored soldiers.
An opponent like this should be easy. Now you see what I can do!
I can't let the hatred consume me.
Engaging! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Oh, violent darting wind. I'm only getting astral energy!
Say no more! Now! Slap the shot!
Not on my watch!
What the? It's not used to having its art stolen, huh? Oops, wrong one. This one.
No further! Take this! Now I'm in the groove!
Now, dueling! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action! My turn! It's time! Away!
His world!
Slaughter the shock! We're not finished! Off my
enemy juggling. It's like, how can I keep them in the sky as well as me?
Am I on a roll or what?
Well,
I
look
can
who's
hear
in
more
a bright and
wolves.
shiny mood.
What's with that shining foe over there?
Shortcake recipe. Harsh punishments awaits anyone who dares steal the strawberry sitting atop it. Okay. So that's the Force Duster.
An opponent like this should be easy. I won't show you any mercy. Now you'll learn.
Stand back. I'll check it out.
Oh. I already knocked the art out of him, never mind.
Commander of Heaven. Phoenix Cyclone. Now, you're mine. Dragon Force. Coming through. Ha! Now.
Scarlet Inferno.
With this, I can become even stronger.
Oh, I'll see them in a sec. Oh, SP accumulated for Shion. What's this? Ah, ultimate ingredient.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is
Another
someone making
mantis?
them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
I don't really have a choice in fighting this one, do I? It's sort of sat in the way.
No choice.
No choice indeed, that's what I said.
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop it.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes!
Tenebrous Claw!
Dragon shell! Here I come!
Excuse me, I don't want to be in front of you. Thank you very much, Mr. Mantis. Nope, 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 nope. Right, you're facing the wrong direction. Is that law back in? Yep, looks like it.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Eat this!
Will this help?
Plasma shock! Dragon shell!
Healing circle! Between heaven and earth.
Nope, 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 nope. I still seem to be in front. This is wrong. It really likes me. Blah 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 magic.
You see what happened there as you crossed me. Shouldn't have done that.
Oh, it's already done.
This ends now!
Consider yourself
Finished.
We won.
To the right. Wolf room. Not just wolves. Hi! And also, I wanted to get back through the door. I wanted to.
A farm like this should be easy. Cronin hell! Here I come!
Cyan instant! It's like trying to keep up with a wolf!
It's like trying to keep up with a wolf. It is a wolf.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Now! You're mine!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Done. Finished.
There's always room for improvement.
There's ore growing here too, huh? Regenerative crystal. Regenerative crystal of 5. Red sage. I should really use those herbs. I say that almost every time I encounter them, but I'm like, I almost never do. But it's probably a good idea if I can do. Okay. Alpha Wolf. One of those guys. Guy with sword and the guy with thing? Yep, what's this? That was the same.
Bring him down! I can carve through walls! Bombardment!
I'm going in!
May a thousand gales carry you
In a bind? Leave the ensnaring to me. Yeah, and the pummeling to me.
Use me? You call me embedded as well. Embedded as well, huh?
May a thousand gales carry you to shreds! This one's mine!
Now we're not.
Now you see what I can do.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Yeah.
Let's refrain from losing.
Two of them. Two guys with swords and a guy with the spear. Nope, there was the other one was not a sword. It was a marksman.
I hope I live long enough to regret it.
Already lost.
You think that shield will save you? That's my cue! Get toasty!
Burn strike! Its armor's too strong. It'll split it open! Be my guest. No further. Anything in order is all mine.
Laura, is that the second time this fight?
Not today.
I'll finish you here. I'll crush you. Lightning reflexes. Tenebrous claw. Talon storm.
In an instant. Impact block. Not a chance.
Stop. I'm on.
Let's go! Raging cascade! I need to pull myself together. Pain between heaven and earth.
Blah 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 magic.
Lightning Tiger Blade.
I think I'm getting the hang of this.
You're definitely way stronger.
Yeah, nothing motivates you like having stakes this high.
Gold. We need that. Teleporter. Teleporter.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a
I was
wall.
gonna say, it doesn't look
How
like
do
an
we get
entrance.
through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
I guess use the sovereign power and maybe the wall will open and we can go through. That's my bet. It worked!
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
That's a lot of astral energy.
What the?
Oh, we're back inside Alphen's memories again.
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
Everyone
That
got
person
sick.
Alphen was speaking to. She looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah, it was all just a little sudden, that's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too, if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
We're gonna get another illusion or a fight? Just occurs to me that I didn't turn around and have a look what was in that room that we came in through. Just in case. Just in case of shinies. It looks like it was just a teleporter room, huh? Oh.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Her eyes, they aren't
Something about her
good.
isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
Oh. Is that a Dark Mastercore? Oh boy. That's something. Oh, it doesn't have a face. I don't like that.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that.
It has
kind of
too many
power
arms
when
and
you
no
talk
face. I
later.
do not
Here
like it.
comes.
Tormented limbs. Yeah, a pretty apt description.
I've never known Faria to control noodles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master sword? Where did she get her hands?
Yeah. Speaking of cores, I need to punch it in the face. Which is mildly dangerous. Ow.
Here's a healing arm. I'll stop its charge. Thanks, Kisara.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Burn!
Engage with darkness. Searing flame. Reload.
Take this!
Radiant blood. Here.
I mean, that's what I'm considering to be its face anyway, because it's where a face would be if it had a face.
I'm nearly done for.
Shion, I'm sorry, I need help. Thank you. Ow. Sorry, Shion. Thank you, Shion. Use a marker to draw a face. Cool break. There we go. I can stop hitting it in the front for a bit because it doesn't have a core there anymore. So I can make my way around the back and hit it in the butt instead, which is a lot safer. Oh boy, I don't want to be in there while it's doing that.
You see what happened there is you crossed me. Shouldn't have done that.
Nice one, lot. Oh, cord's back.
Look sharp.
Halfway. Over limit. It's in. Oh, wait, can I knock it out? Down anyway. No, no, nope, nope, nope. Want to be in there. The action cue does mess me up sometimes. Shion! Yes. Okay, let's get back to focusing it there. Ow. I think we're gonna need an orange shell. Possibly a pineapple gel. Let's go with the pineapple gel just in case. Ow. Sorry, Shion, please.
We've got him on the run.
Don't get cocky.
Right. Still anyone's fight.
Ow, 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 ow. That's the downside of the healing circle. Sometimes it's a danger circle as well. Core break. Yay. Oh, out, out. In. Out. Ow. Law, you're on the floor again. Almost, almost, almost. We're getting close, we're getting close, we're getting close. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, nope, 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 nope. So close, so close, so close. You need to not be in that sphere. Oh, okay. I did. Going in was fine, going in was fine, going in was fine. We're done, we're done, we're done. The tormented limbs is no more.
Now it's just her!
Also, the fact that we went into this without having a convenient healing circle is,
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more.
Can we destroy the core? Yes!
Forgive me.
Ooh! Thump in the stomach.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Oh, you followed us.
Alakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
Nothing behind that column. Oh, I missed the convenient healing circle. It was there. Oh no, wait, no. Did I walk in here or did I? Yeah, I did walk in here. I missed the healing circle. I missed the healing circle entirely. That's fine because I can use it now.
Do you think
Everything was
Faria
so
really
shiny
being
and
controlled by
colorful, and I
someone?
missed the suspicious healing
Certainly
circle.
seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
Yeah.
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
Save. Okay. And onwards. There appears to be another teleportation circle. Oop.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
Is it time for another memory? Another... Oh, the ceremony. The Renaissama. Okay, those viney things are like the wedge.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
Ooh. Oh! It's thorns all the way down. Oh boy! Oh boy! There was something in there with eyes. So Nayori had the thorns as well. And that's what made the ceremony back up? Ooh. Well, that's a memory you didn't have, Alphen. I'm pretty sure you didn't have that one before.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Is that what your nightmares have been
Oblivion.
like, Shion?
It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two.
But you all
Squabbling
felt
over
it was
theories will
nice.
get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them.
Oh.
I just hope we can find
Hey,
a way.
no, I didn't want that automated. I wanted to do this get. Ah! It was just, never mind. Never mind.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns. As well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I just need a little time first. I want to make sure I go into whatever comes next completely prepared.
That vision we saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
Ghost type
That's
stuff.
your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
Save. Just a second. I just need to check something. I'm just gonna walk into that again, 1 second.
Soon, you might very well learn the truth. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens.
Yeah.
Just need a little time first. I want to make sure I go into whatever comes next completely prepared.
And here's where I'm gonna have to apologize, because according to the streaming guidelines for this game, I'm not allowed to show you what comes next. Even though those guidelines are only in Japanese, I do intend to follow them. And that's the line. That's the choice. And this, I'm afraid, is as far as we go on stream. I am literally not allowed to show you what comes next. So, my apologies. This is where we'll be ending for tonight. I don't want to get in any trouble, so... As I said, even though they didn't release the guidelines in English. So yeah. I'm on my own from here on out. And I'm gonna do that tomorrow, I think. Oh, yeah, I'll do that at some point over the weekend, at least. So, thank you very much for joining me. And I'm sorry that this is as far as you go with me. I guess if you want to see the end, you're gonna have to play the game yourself. So, thank you for coming. It's been fun. And this is Kalla, signing out at the end of my last Tales of Arise stream, before I go and face what's probably the finale. So, see you again next time. I guess the next scheduled stream is Monday at 7 PM, when we'll be playing through, well, at least the start of the Soldier's Dream battles in Usuramune Prelude to the Fallen. Consider subscribing to the channel, follow me on Twitter. The schedule for next week will be put up on Sunday at some point when I'm finished setting it up. And goodbye. See ya. Bye bye.